Thank you so much, Ms. Simmons, for inviting us into the Village Academy community, and to all the colleagues, scholars, and parents who are on the call this evening. I hope that everybody that we're reaching out to tonight is safe and well. Uh, we know as a high school, looking back, that middle school is a time that has a lot of change. And it's been a year of so much change on top of the normal amount that we all are used to. And we hope that talking to you tonight, we give you a chance to look forward to something in the coming year, not just a great second half of 8th grade, but to the big choice of high school that's coming up this evening. Ms. Simmons invited us to talk a little bit about our school, and with ours and all the other schools, hopefully you're all seeing some really great and exciting opportunities for what you're going to be doing in the new school year. I'm joined this evening by Mr. Randy Pena, who's our bilingual guidance counselor, and I will give him a chance to introduce himself and then tell you a little bit about our school.
Good evening, everyone. As Mr. Finney said, we definitely, and Ms. Simmons, our school is really there to offer an opportunity to new incoming Ls that don't know how to navigate the system, and their families when they first come into the country. A lot of our students are just getting here a month ago, and they need a school and they don't speak the language. So we're here to support them, guide them through the path of getting a high school education, and being around a community that's really 100% immigrants. So we hope that it's an environment that they do feel comfortable in, and we feel that it is. It's been functioning well for us. Our students are very happy, and basically we do offer, like, the classes are in English, but we have many, like a lot of staff members that speak multiple languages, and we teach in a project-based format that it compensates for the English classes, which Mr. Finney will explain to you all.
If we could go ahead from this very old slide that's up here. So our school is for recently immigrated English language learners. We're located in Elmhurst, Corona neighborhood. So it's a little bit of a trip from the Village Academy community, but if you live in between us, we can be reached by the EMR line, and our closest stop is the Grand Avenue Newtown stop. We're co-located on the Newtown High School campus, where we have our own 4th floor. Our school is organized and was founded to prepare recently immigrated English language learners with the skills and the understandings to be successful in college and healthcare careers. Tenemos una meta para preparar los estudiantes recién llegados para tener un éxito en carreras y la universidad en estas carreras. The next slide. So one of the things that I think is really important about our school, and we've heard a couple of schools talk about their values, are the things that help to make our school what it is. We have 4 core school values of dignity, collaboration, communication, and service, and we celebrate those in every grade level of our school. The idea that each one of our community members is important, that we work together, that we communicate, and that we work to serve one another. We can move ahead. So in our school, these numbers are a couple years old, but the pattern is pretty consistent. About 60% or more of our students speak Spanish at home. The second largest language group in our community is Bengali, but we have about 30 different nationalities and over 20 home languages represented among our students. So while we have a very large Spanish-speaking population, the community of speakers of other languages is really diverse, and it's one of the things that we think makes our community the really vibrant, rich, and exciting place that it is to work and to learn together. Next slide. These are some of the people who helped this school get started. I think it was 2013, Randy. You'll see a guy on the right there who looks really familiar and a guy on the left there who maybe looks a little bit younger. We got this school started in 2013, and these are some of the folks who helped us to get that school going. And actually, most of them are still with us, which I hope is testament to the really strong sense of community that we create for our students and for the adults who work with them. Next slide. This is how our school's organized. It's a little bit different. We mix together our 9th and 10th grade students. So students who are 9th graders are mixed together with students who are 10th graders, because the way that we do class is a little bit different. Everything is done via projects. We're learning language in all of our classes. So whether you're in English, history, math, science, art, that teacher knows that they're working with a room full of people who maybe speak 4 or 5 or 7 different languages in that class. And so each teacher is a language teacher in our school. And so to do that well, we have to work really closely together, showing those same values of collaboration and communication that we expect out of our students. And part of how we support students is by grouping together 9th and 10th grade students in a 2-year loop, so that the 9th graders have a chance to learn from the students who have 1 year ahead of them in their language development and their time in our school. So we have 2 groups of 9th and 10th graders with about 75 students on each. The class size is about 25 students per class when we're in fully in-person classes. They get a little bit smaller as we go up to the 11th and 12th grade. And then we've got 2 guidance counselors and a support team member who work with them on the guidance team, and some teachers who work across grade levels. Next slide, please. So as I was mentioning, all of our teachers are language teachers. So when a science or a math teacher is teaching a lesson, they are incorporating language learning goals in the math lesson. As students will know, there are these state exams that you have to take in high school in the state of New York to graduate. And for English language learners, although some of those tests are available in some of the languages students speak at home, a barrier to graduation is often the New York State Regents exam. And so by incorporating language learning as a part of a math class or language learning as part of a science class, we give students the skills not only to develop those language skills, but also to have success on some of those high stakes assessment. And we can talk a little bit about what's different in our school on those as well. Next slide. So our school is part of what's called the L waiver. So for the state of New York, we have an agreement where the students in our school are graded on a portfolio basis. So in all of our classes, students are doing collaborative project-based instruction. We try to keep things very hands-on, and we try to encourage students to work in a group. In this picture, you can see a student supporting another student who speaks the same home language as her, but is still earlier in his language development. She was helping him with a presentation kind of in a debate format that was in a history class. And so the idea is that by speaking, reading, writing, and listening in every single class, students have an opportunity to really practice their language skills with a lot of support from classmates and a lot of context. Next slide. So although our students still have to take the English and the math Regents exams, for all of our core classes, students present what are called graduation-worthy portfolio projects. So in 9th and 10th grade, students are doing these projects and they get practice presenting them in roundtables. So small groups, more students than teachers, talking about what they learned and the skills they're developing and practicing their language skills in small groups with a teacher at the end of each semester. They do this in January and June when we're doing Regents exams. Our 11th and 12th grade students it's a little bit different. It's more like college. So we're building them up so that at the next level in 11th and 12th grade, it's one student to multiple adults, and they're presenting a project that they did really well on in one of their 4 core courses. So for English, math, history, and science. And even though we're in the middle of the pandemic, we're still doing science portfolios, we're still doing math portfolios right after we get back from the winter holiday recess. Our students don't have to take the history or the science regents exams. So we have a waiver where if students are successful in their portfolio presentations, they are not required to take a multiple choice test that decides whether or not they graduate. We still have English, we still have math, but science and history are demonstrated through their portfolio presentations. We provide a lot of support to teachers to make sure that they're doing these projects well and help students to be successful each step of the way. Next slide. We also have a career theme for all of our students. So we are a CTE elective sequence. And so we've developed this over the course of the years that the school has been in operation since 2013. We based it on the National Academy Foundation curriculum, but really now we've kind of grown it into our own special local project. So in 9th and 10th grade, students get anatomy and physiology and a health careers exploration course. So they're learning about not just what kinds of jobs are available in healthcare, but also about how the human body works. And again, we're looping that 9th and 10th grade experience so that the students who have a little bit more language can help to be a support to the students who they're with in the classroom. In 11th grade, we have a biotechnology class in the 11th grade sequence. And then in second semester, students do internships. Like a lot of things, it looks a little different this year. In other years, students were doing those internships off campus. Second half of the day, second semester, they would be taking those skills that they learned, practicing job interview skills, going up to work on time, engaging in professional conversations, getting written feedback from their supervisors at lots of different kinds of locations. So we've had students who've been in other schools, in libraries, but also in a lot of healthcare industry settings. So we've had people who have done internships at Jamaica Hospital, Elmhurst Hospital, New York Hall of Science, lots of vet offices, and it's a really great opportunity for our students to explore the career that we've been preparing them for. And then in 12th grade, we have Dr. Ramirez, who teaches a medical assisting class, and students are CPR and AED certified at the end of the class. And historically, we've offered the NOCD assessment, and students can get the CDOS credential, not the CDOS for graduation, but like a diploma endorsement on their diploma when they graduate, demonstrating the additional career-themed work that they've done. We also do content linkage in our non-CTE classes. So we have a cancer unit that gets done through the 9th and 10th grade English class. And we also work with other schools to coordinate the CTE program that we offer. Next slide. We really work to try to have a strong school culture. Our idea is that if we have an environment where students feel safe and supported, that it will make it possible for them to do the challenging things that we're asking them to do. As I mentioned, we have small classes. We have a really strong advisory program with a lot of SEL support from guidance counselors like Mr. Randy. We have a committee of staff who works to make sure that our advisory program is really well organized. Our teachers work in teams, so every student has an adult who knows them really well, hopefully multiple adults who know them really well based on the fact that they're in those small groups and meeting with those teachers in advisory 2 times a week, every week throughout the year. Those teams meet with each other and with the guidance counselors to make sure that they're addressing any emotional or social needs that are identified. And we're a really strong proponent for our students of implementing these restorative practices. So this year we've moved into doing school-wide tier 2 and tier 3 supports with our students, and our 12th graders are getting ready to do some attendance circles for 12th grade students who've had some challenges with attendance this year. So the idea is that we're really trying to support the students to be successful, whatever the challenges they face. Next slide. This is a sample. It's different this year because we're doing so much of our programming remotely, but a lot of the same activities are still taking place. So we have extra help in the morning before classes get started. We work with a lot of community partners after school. Magic Box, we've had a partnership with Columbia University around an astronomy program. We have College Now program agreement with Queens College, so students who are eligible have the opportunity to take university level classes after school. We mentioned the internship, debate club, fitness club, gardening, and we have the advantage of being a small school that's co-located with a large school in that we have access to all the PSAL offerings. Our campus has the opportunity for students to participate in almost everything. I think the 2 sports that we're not involved in are anything swimming and American football, but soccer, volleyball, badminton, cricket are all options that are available for our students. Next slide. So there's our phone number. I'll drop my email in the chat to create an opportunity for anybody who wants to reach out to connect with us. We really know that every family's needs are a little bit different. And so what we try to do is to pair you with one of our guidance counselors, one of our office team members. We have a really wonderful parent coordinator in Miss Denieri, who can really work with you to explain our program and answer any questions that you have. And for a little bit more information, I think on the next slide, we've got a screen grab of our Facebook page, which I also posted in the chat. We also have an Instagram page, so you can get a sense of a little bit about what the environment of our school is and what it's like to go to high school at International High School for Health Sciences. Our code in the book is Q63A.
I just want to mention that when you do talk to your students, or if your students are interested, the school is a screened school. So the student has to be in the country less than 4 years, and English cannot be their first language to be accepted. So that's one of the things that does unfortunately have me go through the listing, and I'm not able to accept as many students as I'd like to, but we do have to go follow the screened process. The name of the school is International High School for Health Sciences. I'm seeing the chat comment. I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, no uniform. We have, like some of the other schools, a lot of swag from our school. So we're always giving out t-shirts, polo shirts. You know, we have hoodies and hats and all kinds of stuff. But we know that students come, you know, with lots of different clothing preferences. So it's not a uniform school, although we have our own brand, if you will. Another option for families that are interested in a health career school, I know that our school opened in 2013 at the same time as the Institute High School for Health Professions at Cambria Heights. Gavin Robinson opened up at the same time. So for families who don't have an immigrant or second language at home, who are looking for a similar theme, it's another great CTE theme school that I think has a EMT CTE certification program located at Cambria Heights.